Hey everyone, how's it going? BwbB9HUZ the Healer here, and today I have another video inspired by my comment section. This one comes from Adam Hughes, and sort of, how do you play Preservation Evoker when crap hits the fan? How do you, as a player, not panic when you're looking at your bars? I have lots of advice here and ways to help organize or heal, some tips and tricks, and of course, plenty of theory to live and die by, quite literally. I think you guys will enjoy this one. Two things before we get started. By the way, happy June 1st, everyone. I'm doing a big charity fundraiser over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/x45x. We're raising money for the Trevor Project. It should be a really fun time. It has the chance to go all month long. If you want more details to that, head over there. And also, hey, if you guys like healer content, get subscribed. It'd mean the world to me. We got a lot to cover today, so we're going to jump right into it. All right, let's start with some policies and some theories that can help you play better. These are good things to live and die by, quite literally in some instances. So I think this will help everyone. I'm going to be talking a lot to you guys, like as if you're taking Temporal Anomaly and Resonating Sphere, the Echo Delivery service. It's one of my favorite talents, and it's meta for a reason. I'll be going over that in a moment, but if you hear me say something where I'm assuming you're running Temporal Anomaly, that's because it's very common, it's very meta. So first rule, let your heals do their job. So let's say you sent out a Temporal Anomaly, got this big Dream Breath on everyone, right? Sometimes that is 100 to 200k healing per target, right? Sometimes that is such a massive amount of healing. You can get like easily 1 million out of a single Dream Breath and TA on your whole party. Like if every heal goes off, of course. So remember, when you have double reversions and double Dream Breaths on people, let the healing do its job, right? You don't need to panic about someone's health bar dipping a little bit if they're going to heal up naturally. Now, there are cleaves and frontals and random cast spells that might do some damage, and you're going to want to individually heal those players. But it's nothing that you should be worried about. You should know what packs, as you play the game, do a lot of damage to the party, or players typically make mistakes on. Then yes, you might need to start healing those players individually and worrying about them, but let the heal over times do their job, as they're quite potent, they're very strong, they do a lot of work on their own right, and that's where a lot of overhealing comes in. And speaking of overhealing, avoid overhealing. So let's say everyone's lost 30% of their HP bar and you just sent out a Dream Breath. Okay, don't worry. You might be able to heal the tank, right? Maybe they're getting slapped and you can use reversions or whatever, but don't panic about those players that just got hit. Wait and react to their health bars. There aren't a lot of things that just straight up one shot right now. If they do, they're avoidable, they're swirlies, or they're really important kicks. Don't panic about that stuff. You want to panic about like a Shadow Bolt volley going off in Underrot, right? Like if it isn't lethal, it's still going to put everyone incredibly low, and if there's a worm that gets a cast off, someone might die immediately. Then you're going to want to double up the spells. There's plenty of health to heal, and any overhealing that happens at that point's fine because you avoided people dying. And that I like to call lethality policy. That concept of, hey, will this kill my party? Or will this kill my party in a moment? Like, will the next spell kill someone? If yes, it's lethal and you need to be healing it quickly and figure out your fastest, most optimal route. But sometimes the answer is no, not really. Let's say one tick of an Underrot, that one worm gets one tick off of the spell that's a channel and you have to kick it. Okay, well, that's not lethal. And if it gets stopped, you don't have to panic. So you can just kind of slow heal the party up, maybe with a Dream Breath, maybe with a Temporal Anomaly Living Flame, and just kind of call it a day because it wasn't lethal. There's nothing coming up that is lethal. There's nothing that should worry you that everyone's health bar needs to be high. Now, you might be hearing that pull and being like, wait, but Bowser, sometimes there's those other mobs that have that Shadow Bolt volley. You're right. However, that's on the team's responsibility to be able to kick. And so you as a healer have to decide, do I trust my team to kick this? At high levels of play, usually you'll see people talk about it or give kick assignments or just say, hey, I'll get second cast on this target. But if you're worried about players not being able to call things and not being able to have kick assignments, then we might want to consider this potentially lethal. And that's why the lethality policy is good to think about. Sometimes things are non-mechanics, they're non-lethal, they are easy to deal with because the damage goes out and then everyone's fine. This is of course at the healer's judgment, so you're going to have to figure that one out on your own. And to help with that, use your cooldowns. The policy for DPS and for everyone else who plays this game is press your buttons, press your cooldowns if they're going to be up for when you need them. Right? So if there's a big boss mechanic that you have to heal through and it's coming up real soon, maybe don't press rewind. But if you just finished a boss fight and everyone's chilling and there's a large amount of damage about to come through and you don't want anyone to die, you could hit rewind, it'll be back up. Okay, so this one does require temporal anomaly. Let's talk about our opener. The opener helps set you up for success because it kind of gets you one step ahead of the game before anything happens. So my opener, as my guide will tell you, is walk in, throw a temporal anomaly. I'm usually hovering while I do this. Then I echo anyone I missed or that I'm worried might get hit. And then I flame breath the pack as the tank gathers it. Now, it's not only in that order. Sometimes I'm like hitting time dilation on the tank or something else, or I'm setting up a stasis as well, and more on stasis in a moment. But that opener, having everyone with echo, can set you up for success because now, hey, a large portion of damage comes through in the party. Start hitting Spirit Bloom. You're going to get everyone to full, right? Hey, a little bit of damage is coming out. People are getting hit here and there. You maybe pop a Dream Breath. This will just set you up so it's one less GCD. It's one less thing you have to worry about. You're doing it in the prep time of a pull while everyone's getting ready. And then partway through the pull, you can send another temporal anomaly and then maybe disintegrate to get some of your mana back while you're waiting for something to happen. Temporal anomaly allows for reactions. I don't like to throw temporal anomaly as a reaction to heals. I like to have temporal anomaly out to manage incoming damage. And thankfully, with its 15-second base cooldown that is reducible with haste, mine's at 12 something seconds right now. So it is up for almost every single wave of damage in most typical mob packs. Getting started with the pull on this foot kind of keeps you ahead as you go. And only in really dangerous, scary pulls do you end up falling behind, but that's okay. You have other cooldowns to help keep you alive when that's happening. And what if you're running out of cooldowns, right? You're using Dream Breath, you're using Spirit Bloom, but you're like, oh no, I'm running out. Well, this is what your other buttons are for, like stasis. I use stasis on a lot of my openers because I don't typically need stasis for a lot of mechanics in the game right now. And typically speaking, most of the boss fights where I want to use stasis, I'm going to use it on cooldown anyway, but just load it up with a normal heal. Hey, here starts the pull, throw the temporal anomaly, you get your echoes out, there goes the fire breath, and then I'm gonna full charge Spirit Bloom. You might be thinking, Bowser, didn't you just tell me to not overheal? You know what? Start with a big fat overheal, get that the 2-piece heal going on people, right? Or maybe you're using Dream Breath first, and then you throw another temporal anomaly when it's off cooldown, and then some more damage comes in, you hit Spirit Bloom or Reversion or whatever, but now you have a stasis with a Dream Breath and a TA in it. And then, let's say there's no damage coming in, everyone's fine. Hey, some damage comes in. Well, don't press Spirit Bloom, don't press Dream Breath, release the stasis. In fact, sometimes I even click off my stasis so that it's ready to fire early, just so that I can use it to heal through something and save my cooldowns. And then another wave of damage comes in, and thankfully my big heals are already off cooldown. They've been sitting there chilling. Stasis put in the work for me, and that kind of helps me bridge the gap between pulls or between large portions of damage within a pull. And then one other final big tip is Living Flame. Living Flame is a great spot heal, and it's a great group heal when you don't want to spend a button. A temporal anomaly Living Flame not only increases your chances of getting an essence burst, because yes, all of those echoes count as different Living Flames. You can also combine this with Leaping Flames for an even greater effect. I do have video footage of me firing a Living Flame with an echo on a target and getting 2 essence bursts from it. So it's very possible to get it from even 1. But it did get buffed in a recent patch in last season. A lot of players will tell you to avoid this, but honestly, if there isn't a lot of incoming damage, fishing for essence bursts and healing up the party with Living Flame isn't bad. And I remember getting in an argument in the comment section with somebody about this, but the reality is if you don't want to be pressing your other buttons, you want to hold onto buttons for damage you know that's coming in, the Living Flame is great. And also, when we're talking about that let your heals do their job concept, Living Flame is a great supplement to that. Let's say somebody takes a little bit of damage while you're letting the heals work. You could hit them with an Echo Reversion or a Living Flame or an Echo Living Flame, maybe to heal 2 targets or 1 target more potently. All the other heal over times are still doing their job, and you're not wasting a cooldown, or you're not wasting big cooldowns to use either of those combos. So it's sort of a way to bring more efficiency into your game plan, as long as the damage isn't scary enough that the cast time of Living Flame is, say, something that should worry you. When it comes to keybinds, my biggest recommendation is to make sure things are comfortable and easy to hit. You want to think about your dispels and your kicks and your crowd control in places that are easy to hit in a pinch or in a moment. You might want your main rotation buttons still on the 1, 2, 3, Q and E or whatever other buttons you use, but I highly recommend making sure that you have some quick, easy access stuff for important moves so that you're not thinking about it as much and you can start reacting with those buttons. Like, for instance, my dispel is always shift 1. and I use a mouse modifier to hit that, but I just hit the button on my mouse and then 1 and I've dispelled someone. But then also weak aura packs or just the base user interface, make sure you can see your cooldowns while you're playing. Have them somewhere useful where they don't obstruct gameplay too much, but that at a quick glance you can look down and see what you have available to you. These are super important. Weak aura packs are found on the Weak Aura website, which is WAGO.io, I think. If you look up WAGO on Google, you'll find it very quickly. It's so important that you have those things nearby. I run default interface, and again, the reason my bars are so big is simply so that I can see the cooldowns at a quick glance, and it honestly has made a huge difference for me. And then the final piece of advice, and this really is from fighting game land: practice. Not just sitting in training mode and sitting in front of the dummies and Valdrakken. I mean, like, run dungeons, run content, right? If you're scared about Mythic Plus, keep it under a 5. It should be chill, it should be easy. People are usually pretty friendly in those keys and understand that people are learning. And it's a great place for you to have crap hit the fan and panic in an environment where if you guys fail the key, it's not a big deal. The key is very easy to time with just a little bit of damage. Like, those are good places to practice. Run keys. The only way to get over that fear, the only way to get used to stage fright, the only way to get so comfortable is to play. We always talk about how you want to get so good at a character in a fighting game that you play them like it's second nature. You're not really thinking, you're just reacting to the way the game works. And that's the exact same with World of Warcraft. You need to be so good at your healer that you're not thinking about it. Now, that doesn't come instantly, right? So don't feel like, oh God, I can't do that yet. No, you can. But it's not anything to be like losing sleep over. Practice is what does it. So run some small keys, help some friends out, right? Try to find some really friendly communities who don't mind running keys with you to help you learn the ropes. They exist. I know they exist, and I think they're 100% worth the time investment. But that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully y'all understand that this is kind of hard, right? I want you to know that I still have moments where I panic on preservation. And I put a lot of time into this class. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty good at this class, and I have moments where I go, oh God, what do I do? And so don't worry about it. I think it's normal. This class is a bit stressful because it's cooldown based, but I think when you get this flow down and you can think ahead of time, you can make some really beautiful stuff happen. So I hope this one helped. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.